just a good old boy.
Alright, y'all, I'm tedding hay right this minute. I may actually, I'm gonna be honest, I cut this hay on, what is today, Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday, so I cut it Tuesday. This field did not get rained on. This was a field that I actually filmed in the other day, and y'all watched me mowing, and I said that it had stopped raining. Well, it never rained on this particular field when I started cutting it. And I'm gonna be honest, I am shocked right now because it was cloudy all day and I cut it late Tuesday. Yesterday the morning started foggy and cloudy, and then it cleared off and got hot later in the day, and then today it started out really cool this morning and kind of overcast, and now it's cleared off and it's warming up again. And this hay, surprisingly enough, does not look that wet. Honestly, it looks like it's nearly ready to bale. I'm thinking I'm gonna fluff this and then come back here in a little bit and check it with a moisture tester, and I don't know, depending on what it says, we might try to square bale this today. Go ahead and get it knocked out and out of my way, because y'all know there is a hurricane headed our way. It's not, it will, by the time it gets to us, it won't be as bad, but the way they're projecting it looks like it's going to go, from the projections I've seen from the Weather Channel last night, it looks like pretty good chance we're going to be getting some of it anyway. Don't know how much of it, don't know if we're going to get the worst part side of it or what. I am a long ways from the coast. It will have to go through Florida, back up through, probably, I'm guessing it's probably going to go up through the Gulf, probably part of Florida and Alabama, and then curl back up through us, which is generally when we get the worst part of the storms, when they do come through. It's not looking, if it does what they projected last night that I've seen it do, it don't look good for South Florida, which is where my wife is from. Her parents don't live there anymore, they live in Texas now, and they had to move, her dad's company moves them around, but that's where she mostly grew up, was down in South Florida, and she's got a lot of friends down there. It don't look good for them right now. So yeah, a little bit worried about some of them down there, and what they're going to be dealing with, but I'm sure we'll get some of it, but most of the time we just get a lot of rain out of them when they do come across that way. But we have, like a couple years ago, when my neighbor's barn roof blew off, we have, and then I think our livestock auction barn, part of the roof on it blew off too in that storm when that hurricane came over. I think that was the same time. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm more worried and concerned about the South Georgia and the cotton. It may be a redo of what happened before. The cotton is probably just now getting right ready to pick down there, and it may come through and wipe it out again in the pecan orchards down there too, like the last time. So I don't know. If I was them boys, I'd be out there if I could, picking all I could and getting it gone, and rolling across them fields. It don't look good, I'll say that, for down there. But I had bad luck. This tedder that I'm pulling is the one that had the bent wheel. Well, it has continued on into now, and the piece that runs up through the frame that I was talking about in that video, or I think I mentioned about it, I've talked about it before. is the part that allows the shaft that actually powers the gearboxes to pass through it and allows those wheels to twist so you can pitch the tedder on the outer rounds a different direction, so that way it won't throw it into the fence or whatever. It's a really nice feature, but unfortunately the pieces and parts that are connected to it were not made near heavy enough, and it's a pain in the rear end when it does, because then you have to disassemble basically the whole tedder. You have to pull the shaft out of the center. You have to pull the gearbox off, if I'm not mistaken. I know you do. You have to pull the gearbox off the bottom of the tedder. You got to pull the wheels off, the axles off. You've got to pull the star off. You got to pull the gearbox off. You got to pull the shaft out of the center. Then you have to pull that piece that goes on top of that attaches to the shaft on the top, which is not fun to get off. Not fun. You got to get that out, and then after you do all that, then you got to get the piece out that goes in it. And I'm probably forgetting something. You basically have to disassemble half the tedder just to get this one piece out. And it is a nightmare to get out. It's not that expensive to fix usually. Usually I can get my machinist at our machine shop we do. He normally fixes them for me, and he can fix them right back up. It's not that bad as far as the expense, but it is a lot of work. And it's not that it shouldn't take that long to do it, but it's difficult to get it apart because of certain stuff. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about when I do it, because I know I'm going to be the one that has to do it, because I can't never luck up and convince somebody else to do it, because the only other person that ever did it, I don't think he wants to do another one. Me and him did it together, and I don't think he wants to do it again. I don't blame him. This will be my third time doing this, or actually fourth if you count the time I helped him. This tedder here has had it happen twice, once on the outer, once on the inner. The other one I think's had it happen twice did as well. It is not fun. This will be, no, the other one's had it happen once. So this will be the fourth time I've had to do this particular thing, and it sucks. God, it sucks. Of all the things that I've worked on and had to do, this is probably one of the most annoying, frustrating, makes me want to beat my head up against the wall. And I'm pretty patient when it comes to working on stuff. And I can let things go. This right here, I don't know what it is. It gets under my skin so bad that it just drives me crazy. But also had some news come out that Sonny Perdue, the Secretary of Agriculture, the former governor of the state of Georgia, has finally decided that to get his department off their rear end, and decided to look into price manipulation for packers in the cattle industry due to the price thing that went on with Tyson's fire in their plant, where their kill part only, just the kill part, which they could, I honestly believe they could have that easily back up and going in a lot less time than they're projecting. But while they're capitalizing on it, they're probably just, why worry about fixing it right now? Because the reports come out that I've seen and looked at showed that the producers lost $200 per animal and the packers gained $200 per animal. So the USDA has been caught under such fire and turmoil from farmers and ranchers all across the United States, and the organizations that represent us, like RCAF, that they have decided to take an investigational look into this and to check it out. Now, reality is, they are paid, they are bought. Purdue's crooked. I know he's crooked. He was he was a decent governor, but I can tell you right now, the guy was crooked, and he took buy-offs while he was here in this state. I know that. Well, we speculate that. Just about everybody here in Georgia you ask is going to tell you the same thing. I don't see anything probably coming out of it other than maybe a slap on the hand if they do anything to them. More than likely, they're going to come back and say, well, we found no form of manipulation in our investigation. Well, they're getting paid by them. They're getting backed by them heavily, so I don't see any change coming there. But there is one good thing coming out of this, and it's something that everybody needs to take note of and look at. When we put pressure and demand answers, we get action. It may not amount to nothing yet, but if we keep up demanding answers and wanting action done, we are finally, eventually going to get something done to help the cattle industry here in the United States. And that's the key thing that I'm taking out of this. It's probably not going to amount to anything to begin with. If it does, it's going to be minimal. But we are seeing action because people are making noise and they're getting out there and talking about it. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for everybody in the cattle industry. Even if you're not, don't even own a cow. If you're in the cattle industry and you're selling machinery to farmers, you're a tractor dealer or something that buys hay equipment, whatever it is, this is good for you too. Because if we're making money, that means we got more money to buy more equipment and stuff from you and all other industries that's tied to it, feed stores, whatever, that we get our supplies from and things that we need and whatnot. So this is a good thing. They need to get on board and support us, because without us, they're not going to be in business for very long. And there's going to be a lot of them to go out of business because they need us to stay in business. And they better wake up and start getting on board with all this and pushing to get something done as well. Because we are where they get their money and make their money. And without us, all these industries that's wrapped around the cattle industry for the small the farmers and ranchers that's out here today are going to be out of business or in bad trouble, because we can't afford to buy their products. And if we can't go out and buy their products, they ain't got nobody to sell to. There'll be a lot of them has to quit, close the door if we don't get something changed. So it is a little bit of positive there and something to look forward to. Maybe we'll finally start to see some stuff happen here if people stay after them. I can't stress that enough. We've got to stay after them. We've got to keep pushing to try to get something actually done that's meaningful, to actually do something to help. I was going to tear this thing down today and go ahead and get it knocked out, but then I thought better. I thought, well, as bad as this thing is, I can't drive it down the road because it's going to cause damage. So as bad as this thing is, I can still use it if I absolutely have to have it. So I do have a backup to the other one. Worst case scenario, that will function. So what I'm planning on doing is actually waiting to tear this thing apart till after we get done this weekend with our hay, and then maybe next week, as the hurricane's rolling through at the first of the week, I'll try to break this thing down and get it tore apart and get the process started getting it fixed and get it knocked out, because right now I've got a lot of good hay on the ground. We cut more hay than just what I'm doing here. Y'all probably see footage of that later this week. Dad's fluffing it right now with the other fluffer and the 383. We got a lot going on, and I'm a long ways from being done. Long ways. We've got a lot of hay left to bale. I've got a lot of third cutting coming up to bale as well that I'm going to have this year. I've got to get it done. It's all going to be probably cow hay mostly. I have got a few fields that I'm going to be squaring, and more than likely I will be breaking out the preservative applicator again to do those, unless I can get to do them pretty quickly. So thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.